Today's Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. It's like 5 o'clock before the game. I don't even think I'm watching the game. So I keep doing this test, this frequency test. And since I started doing it, which is about a month ago, is when I started to turn the fan off, the bigger fan, use a smaller fan, turn that one off, use the heater, only use the heater sound as the fan. Feel myself vibrating in the bed, or my neck, my back. Within the past week, I feel like I got away from it about 2 days. Two solid days that I got away with feeling any kind of not that my body isn't vibrating as a when your heart beats and you have that pulsing, it's normal. But there's something extra that's added to it. And because I've been studying it, and I'm not going back to it, because here's what I definitely, absolutely found out. Today, for an example, today. Not much going on. I slept with that little tiny fan, the one that barely makes any noise. Slept okay. Today, woke up. There's a slight. It's on my right side. So if people are doing tests, like frequency tests on subjects to see if they're human or if they're robots, or because you may have some people you've been following and you just want to make sure that they have feelings. So if you're doing a direct energy test, I'm going to tell you it starts on my right side. Not where my heart's at, not on my left side, but on my right side. And you could just feel it's electric. It's an electric current. And I started feeling this electric current, paying attention to it, probably like 5 months ago. Just this little feeling, certain areas. I'm like thinking that's electric. That's like an electric feeling, because it was doing it like every 5 seconds. Exactly. Same spot, same electromagnetic pulse. Like, all right, well, that could be a problem. And then just turning the fan on, drowning it out, going to sleep. Driving in the truck, going to work, you stop at a red light, your truck's still running, it's vibrating. Then I start learning, I go to work in these buildings and they're vibrating. And the reason I know that things are vibrating is because there's times where nothing's vibrating. So it's not just me. But even if it was just me, then I would say, Well, you know all that vibrating I've been talking about? It's just me. I am damaged. There's something wrong with my nervous system. Maybe it's from all the years sleeping with a fan on, rattling me in my sleep. Or it's a direct energy weapon directed towards certain people. Or everybody's dealing with this and they just don't notice it because it is slight. It isn't something you don't really just like figure it out like, hey, what's going on here? I'm vibrating. Let me do some tests and figure out what it is. I don't think everybody goes through that. But what I've learned is that on the days that I wake up and I sleep well because my neck's not rattling, because I'm not sleeping next to any fan that's rattling or any heating system that's being turned on. Now, I may still get the voltage feeling starting with my right side. If my right side pulses, then I'm going to feel it all night long. If my right side stops during the day, then I know, okay, well, now let me just do as much as I can to keep my body from not having any electric current feeling on my right side. And so then that's when I start testing things, like yesterday. Because I didn't go to work Saturday and the buildings still vibrate. And what I've learned when I went to Philly on Wednesday, and I believe that's why some of Kleck's artwork fell off the wall and got damaged down there in that circle area, like the what were you saying? Something about that magnetic when you're carving stuff. It's kind of what it does on the surface of the ground. But when that ground was shaking as violently as it felt, or I got hit as hard as I did, the proof for me, and again, whoever is doing these tests, I'm just letting you know what affected me. I know you can use it against me, but for those that aren't against me, I'm letting you know what it was. And for those that aren't against me that know that these things are true, I'm telling you how I'm experiencing it. That way you can correctly follow the right source that you're looking for. When I get hit that day, my whole body was vibrating. My neck was pulsing. The entire night, I couldn't sleep. I rarely had any dreamland going on. And if I did, I couldn't remember it because I couldn't sleep anyway. So it was one of those feelings where you're just not going to be able to sleep. And then even going to work the next day, my neck was still vibrating up until about noonish. And so then the 24-hour period went by, and then when I went to go to sleep the next night on Thursday, there was still some lagging going on there, but I was able to get some sleep in order to feel a pretty good Friday. So that affected me big time, whatever it was. Whoever did it, whatever it is, the ground shaking in Philly, Logan Square, Center City, yeah, I think that's probably what it was. It wasn't just me getting hit with it. I mean, I don't know how do I even feel about that. I guess I feel good that it wasn't just me because I'm not just being singled out like I was in ShopRite when Ollie forsook me. You know, Ollie, the store director. But then it's like, well, wait a minute. Are you telling me that all the people that were walking in Center City that day felt the same way that I did, but they have no idea why they're vibrating when they're going to sleep? It's just hard to imagine that so many people experienced the same thing I did, but they don't even know what the hell it is. They don't even know why. So it took some time to recover from that one. So what's going on underground there? Is there really digging going on? Or is it just a test to show me that, hey, Robin, it's like I need you to go to Camping's World on October 21st, 2020. I got something to show you. Right around 8:48 a.m. I got something to show you, Robin. I'm going to show you that I can flip a switch and turn fountains of water directly off out of the 69 holes between the 6th and 9th hour. And I'm going to be able to turn it back on at 8:48 a.m. You remember when Barack Obama was saying that, reading that scripture about being still, knowing that he is God? Yeah, he was reading that at 8:48 a.m. So I just wanted to show you that, and I want to show you that I can make the ground shake. So somebody wants to show me that they have, power in this world, control of it, possibly even like the God of it. Somebody's the God of this world. Somebody's the God in heaven. Somebody's the God of the underworld. It's just the way it is. Are they actual human beings? I don't know, but they look like it. Will they say, I am your father? I am God. I created you? Well, they may. They may say that we created the flesh and we are your parents. And then I'll say, well, you've been a deadbeat parent for the first 46 almost years of my life. Where you been? Like, why did you forsake me, father, mother, father? But the point is, people are the Enki and Enlil ordeal. Enki, who loves his human race that he created. And I think Enlil just wanted to shut them up because they were getting too loud. And he's just going to wipe them out with a flood. But then an angel came to Enki and warned him, not to do that. And then trying to figure out who's playing Enki and Enlil and Marduk and Anu, like the father, or the god of the main god guy. And you can even go as far as saying, I created your spirit too, because we're the ones that created the flesh, and we also created this disgusted, sickening world for you to be disgusted at, and for you to hop onto our platform, which is a hellhole. And because of what we did, we created your spirit into rising up and stomping our head. And I can say, well, yeah, Satan, I'll give you some credit at certain areas, but God knew, the God that I know, the God that I've known before I knew anybody on YouTube that are gods, that ye are gods, the God that I knew, always in my spirit, he guided me into speaking for him. So Satan has his people speaking for him. God has his people speaking for him. He used me as a representative to hop into the YouTube platform. For those of you that are from the inside, that's absolute true. Because before then, I was unexisting in the social media platform. I didn't exist. I just hopped on and became a avatar. And caused a lot of stir between the people that were already in place. That's why there's already 12, 13. There's the 13 families. There's the 12 apostles. There's the Christ that has already been chosen. I'm just a storyteller from the outside. I'm telling my story. A spirit comes along with the 13th, the good steward. Esau and Jacob have been battling for quite some time, and Jacob was trying to act like he's Esau. And Esau seems to be more like the devil per se, because I mean, he wanted to kill Jacob, so go figure. He was hairy, and so the Jacob almost reminds me of, because Jacob actually had a bunch of children. I think 11 boys and one girl or something, and but the actual, because there's always like a person playing Jacob, but there's also a main god that wrestled with God as well as the Jacob. And then that person always has someone that's playing him. And there's just always somebody playing another role. I just wish everybody would just get in their own places and stop pretending to be somebody else. It would make it easier for me to figure these things out, but oh well, I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. So, but it seems like Jacob was, I mean, is it far-fetched to say he was a female and was dressed up as a male? When he was trying to act like Esau, put on some hairy garments, because Jacob was smooth and a woman is smooth, considered smooth. So I'm just wondering if that was the case, and Jacob wrestled with God, and then what was happening with the angel that Jacob wrestled with, because you're wrestling with a messenger, and the message is from God, so you're wrestling with God. Not that you're wrestling with God per se as a human being, but a representative for the Spirit of God. Because maybe you're trying to be God. And then you wrestle with the actual Spirit that says, no, stop. I'm God. And this is my representative, and you'll never see my face, because God is a spirit that dominates all. That's the same God I've been telling people about, that is taking over the system, but has to allow everything to be played out, because if not, he would be Satan, the god of forces. This God doesn't force you to do anything. Satan does, and then he tries to take credit for it, just like the gang stalk corporation. So you're saying, Robin, you become more patient because of my gang stalking, correct? Yes, Satan, but it's because you used it for evil intent. You didn't expect me to take your evil and use it for good. So therefore, what I got out of it is what I created out of it, not what you did. Which goes back to whoever created the flesh will say, well, I am God, and I am your God, and you are my son. In the flesh, sure, yeah, I can agree with that. In the spirit, nope. Nobody's going to take the place of the God that I've known before I hopped on the YouTube platform. You can take credit for being led by that spirit, but as a father, I mean, you can even take credit for being like my father, where I really wasn't my father's son, but I was a stepchild, and somebody just kind of, like the Joseph who didn't have a twin sister, but all the other brothers did. So are all the brothers sisters playing the other 11 apostles? Like, is it all 11 women that look like men that are playing this thing out? I mean, it could be. Or it could have had a twin that my mom didn't tell me about, because maybe she was told to not tell me. Right, Mom? I don't know what you're talking about. My toe got burnt. My sister says she accidentally did it when I was at an age I didn't even know. And it put like a barcode on my right foot, my right toe. Like a bar code on my toe. I was born in Bartow, Florida, and not Lakeland. Even though we lived in Lakeland, my mom still doesn't even truly know why. She can't remember back too far. But for some reason, but if you ask SJD over there, he'll tell you that I was born in a different hospital because I'm a jinn or something. What were you saying, Steve? I'm a hybrid. Am I a hybrid? Like, is that why my right side has some kind of buzzing? Is that like an electrical? Do I have some kind of metal? Is there like a metal cage that's attracting the electricity? Because it doesn't do it on my left side where my heart is. It only does it on my right side, which is unusual. So Bartow, Florida, and I have a bar on my toe, a burned, as in, well, let's mark him so we can make sure which twin this is, because he looks just like his twin. So we're going to have to barcode him, his toe. I just want to know the truth, where I came from, how long have I been in on this thing that I am awakened to. When will people straight tell me the truth to my face as I see people? And there's no more deception. When will that day come? Does it ever come? Do I see anybody, or is this all just a spiritual thing? And then I just quit YouTube and just stay off. And then I just go about my life. Or do I actually meet the people that have been doing this to me my entire life? People that need to give me answers. When do I get those answers? You know, I can figure certain things out, others I can't. Hot or cold, hit or miss. Just not lukewarm. So I'm doing a test with these frequencies, and I'm learning that as soon as I handle the TV remote, because right now, there's no feeling. No pulsing. Here's what I have as my heater instead of the other heater, which is over there. So as of right now, minimal heat. That's my solar light. The TV's plugged in, but it's not on. But I don't feel any currency going through my body at this moment. And I'm not touching any remotes. And I'm not pushing any buttons on my cell phone. So what I'm connecting is there's literally a transition from the remote control to the TV, from the TV to the remote control to your hand. And because I'm right-handed, I always use things. I'll text, right hand, remote control, right hand, the mouse, right hand, and that's where I get this transition of energy, whatever you want to call it. And it's not there at this moment, but it was there before I pushed record, because I was searching through the channel and I felt it. I still feel a little bit of it because every time is like an aftershock. And that's why it's so hard to test, because when you're done feeling it and then you step away from whatever it is, it less intensifies, but it's still there because of the aftershock. And it's like you got to get away from it for hours upon hours in order to truly understand what this thing is. And then it's like I got to mourn over what was. Like I used to do YouTube all the time, and I would always put things together and slow things down and be right in front of the camera and have the heater on and the screen in my face and the mouse in my hand, feeling this pulsating feeling, but just passing it off as it's the heater and whatever. Unless somebody tells me exactly what that is and there's a way to stop it through a different computer or some kind of protection thing. Because other than that, I can't keep doing what I've been doing. It doesn't even matter if I was offered a job to have some kind of show or something with whatever. Not doing it because there's some kind of situation going on here. And maybe it's just me, my body. I have some kind of problem going on with my nerves. But I believe if I'm damaged, it's because of the electronics. It's because of me being in front of the screen so much the past 5 years. Well, 3 years. Mainly 2. But every day putting the camera in front of my face and making a video, turning my birthmark in my forehead to become darker, to be more noticed, which is unusual because I never really noticed it until it got darker. I even looked at my older on my ID from before I even started YouTube, and I had some kind of smear mark on the middle of my forehead, but not as prominent as the design that it turned out to be, like the rabbit that's in the Wonderland. Rabbits in Wonderland. It's more like a compliment. Don't go chasing that, go down that rabbit hole. So there's a frequency test, frequency wars. It is a real thing. There is electricity that transfers through the remote control on your TV. There is electricity that transfers through your cell phone into your body. So I can only imagine if what's in that vaccine, if there's something in there like I have no idea what it is, but if there is something that transfers little metal fragments, even if it's liquid metal, then there's another way of getting inside of your body. Or if you're a robot already, or if you have something wrapped around your it's time to wrap it up, Benjamin Franklin Parkway. I can see why you'd be a little nervous about speaking out against your boss, Satan. And because, I mean, it was your choice. It's what you wanted to do. I see it all, what it's all about. And I just say no thanks. No thank you. It's not that important to, pay that much attention to all the time. But in the same time, don't try to force people to do anything either. That's what's going on here. The force. So the fans, from the conclusion I came with for the past month studying this, for the first time in my life, studying why these vibrations are happening, whether they were intensified or I just woke up to the reality of something's going on here. I'm not fully sure, but for the past month, as of today, I've concluded if you have your cell phone in your hand a lot, if you text people a lot, if you're searching through YouTube, feel it. You're going to feel that currency through your hand. Same thing with the remote control for a TV. If you have in your hand too long, it starts to just pulse straight through you. Heaters, no question. They send radiation through you Just like a microwave, staying too close to it. I've learned that too. Even tested that. I'm not so sure if the TV itself is sending off, and that's what I'm trying to test now. I didn't realize these tests would take so damn long to give you an answer, but not sure if it's the TV itself or, well, let's see what it does for the next 3 minutes. Or is it because of the remote control?
Life tattooed on their stomach is guilty. What type of reasoning is that? You know what I'm saying? We got different backgrounds. We come from two different places. Just because I look different than her doesn't mean that I'm a sodomizer or a raper. They've said it in the... I can't understand why it's this close. They talking about there's no evidence that I ever sodomized her, even though you put that all over the paper. And every time they take a quote out of this courtroom, they take a quote from out of her mouth, which is, you know, the stuff to put me in jail. It's nothing that's been true. I just want... print the facts so everybody can sort it out. My life is ruined because nobody has a chance to get the facts.
You know, I
That's
interviewed quite a few women who knew Tupac, who loved him, and to a woman, and women who didn't know him. No one believes that that he actually was guilty of the sexual abuse charge.
And the fact is that there was no semen found.
No semen found, no forceful entry, no entry into the anal, no nothing, none of that. You know,
And no fingerprints on the gun.
No fingerprints on the guns. You know what I'm saying? The only time ever there was an act of sodomy, she admitted she did it to me. I should be, you know, putting charges on this girl who sodomized me on the floor of a dance club. Why am I in court? You know what I'm saying? Get my life ripped apart. But I'm here. I'm going to go through it just to show that I have faith in the American system. But for me to have faith in the American system, these juries and everybody else.
I'm still waiting, Tupac, for that
the same role and to keep an open mind. I'm already convicted.
That lawsuit.
My whole life has been turned around. I lost every job. I lost everything, every opportunity. I can't get buy cars, can't get rent, can't.
Well, I just turned the TV on, and guess what? My whole side is buzzing right now. My right side completely. But I turned the TV on with my left hand. And I'm sure if I sit here for the next 5 minutes, the buzz will go away. So it's looking like the TV itself, just with that little test, just right there. It's the honest to God's truth. It's what my body feels. I ain't making any of this up. It's exactly how I feel inside. My nerves, which